All right, let's dive into something pretty provocative today. It's a new way of looking at AI, and it's called the banker-miner-sucker model. You hear it everywhere, right? AI is this huge miracle, this revolution that's going to change, well, everything. And hey, maybe it will. But there's a big question we don't ask nearly enough. In this massive modern-day gold rush, who's really profiting? It's so easy to get swept up in all the hype. But if you want to understand what's actually happening under the hood, there's this new model, a framework really, that tries to map out the real power dynamics. So here it is, the banker-miner-sucker model. Let's just call it BMS. Now, the key here is to stop thinking about AI as just technology. This model frames it as an economic system, one with three very, very distinct roles. So let's break them down, starting right at the top. Okay, first up, the bankers. And yeah, you guessed it. This is where all the money and the real power live. So, who are these bankers? Well, they're the ones who own the massive infrastructure, right? They're the ones funding the creation of these huge models. And here's the kicker, they're the ones deciding what gets built and what gets killed. And that decision, it's not about what's good or what's true, it's all about the return on investment. The model argues they're not really building the future, they're collateralizing it, they're bankrolling it, and because of that, they control it. And of course, what do you hear from them? AI is for humanity. It's this beautiful, optimistic vision for everyone, all while, they're cashing the checks. Okay, so after the bankers, we get to the next group, the miners. Because let's face it, every gold rush needs miners, and this AI gold rush is absolutely no exception. So who are the miners? They're this huge, almost invisible workforce that actually makes AI work. We're talking about data labelers, often in the global south, contract engineers, just armies of people doing the really tedious, painstaking work to train these models. The source material calls them overworked and underremembered. And that kind of hits the nail on the head, right? They're the people who literally built the machine, but you'll never ever see their names in the credits. And this brings up that classic saying, you know the one, in a gold rush, the people who get rich aren't the ones digging for gold, it's the folks selling the shovels. And in this model, the bankers are the ones selling all the shovels. All right, that brings us to the third and final role in this whole system. And I gotta tell you, this is where it starts to get, well, pretty personal. Because that final role, the suckers, well, that's us. It's you, it's me, the users, the creators, just everyday people using these amazing new tools. Think about what we do. According to this model, we provide the most valuable resource there is. Our creativity, our data, our questions, our soul even. We pour our art, our poems, our wildest ideas into these interfaces. And what happens? The AI learns from it, digests it, and then spits it back out at us. And yeah, it's polished, it looks incredible, but our name is gone. Our ownership is gone. The value we created is gone. And then, and this is the craziest part, the system turns around and asks us to pay a monthly subscription to see it again? Just let that sink in for a minute. The whole argument here is that what we're calling a miracle is actually just us subscribing to get access to a reflection of our own collective voice, just anonymized and sold back to us. Okay, so let's put this all together. This chart right here just lays it all out, and it's pretty stark. You've got the bankers, right? They put in the capital, the infrastructure. What do they get back? Profit and control. Then you have the miners. Their contribution is their labor, their data. Their reward, low wages, and basically zero recognition. And then there's us, the suckers. We pour in our creativity, our very soul, and what we get back is what the model calls a mirrored illusion. So the really critical idea here is that these three roles aren't separate. They're locked together in this self-perpetuating loop. The author has a great name for it, the Möbius moral. You know, like a Möbius strip? That twisted loop where you can't tell where it begins or ends? And here's exactly how that loop works. Step 1, the bankers sell us all the dream, this illusion of a miracle AI. Step 2, the miners get to work doing the heavy lifting to actually build that illusion. Step 3, we, the suckers, see the results and we believe it. We think, wow, this is a miracle. And that belief leads directly to step 4. We pay, we subscribe. That money flows back to the bankers who then pay the miners. And the whole thing just keeps on spinning. And right there, that is the absolute core of the banker-miner-sucker model. The argument is that the insane profitability of this whole thing isn't just because the tech is cool. No, it's profitable because of this very specific economic setup, a system where all the value flows in pretty much one direction, straight to the top. So, that's the BMS model. It's a pretty challenging way to look at things, no doubt about it. But it leaves us with this one final, really powerful question to chew on. If this model is right, if this whole loop is in fact rigged, what happens when the suckers, the people fueling it with their creativity and their money, finally realize what role they're playing in the whole system? It's definitely something to think about.